Michelle, welcome to my house.
Thanks.
Thanks for making the journey. Thanks for doing this, first of all, because the first time I asked you to do this, you were straight up like, no.
No. Because I was all talked out. And I thought the gift I can give.
I got you at a wrong time.
Yeah. I thought the biggest gift I can give to the general public is not talking.
So you just done a big press run to promote your show, Spent, which is incredible, by the way.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thanks.
It's so good. You are an unbelievable writer.
Oh, thanks, mate.
No, seriously, like... I rarely laugh out loud when I'm watching TV, and there were moments in that show where I was really laughing out loud. Because you're like observations of London as well. It's like different types of people, and like it was just it was very, very clever. So you were promoting that heavily, and you were done.
I was just talked the fuck out, and then also I was doing like just loads of podcasts. Loads of like male-led podcasts. Loads of like,
man.
I was just done. And then he was like, "Oh, do you want to do my pods?" And I was like, "No, no, I don't."
Do you know what? I love that. You've got, you know what you want to do. You didn't do it. You didn't push yourself. What have you been doing in this time since the show's come out? Have you been able to have some time to rest?
A little bit, yeah. I went to like a yoga retreat in Madeira, which I thought was mainland Portugal, till the planes started coming in. They were like, as we come into the island of Madeira, I was like, wow. Island? What? So I did that for like...
Was it like a no speaking or?
I didn't. I went on my own, so yeah, I didn't really talk other than going, thanks. So I did that. It was like a vegan, all-inclusive diet, and I just went to yoga and like kayaked and swam and stuff.
That's
so I did that for a week. Got off the vapes. I'm back on them
for
now.
a week.
Yeah.
I know. I've not vaped since 11 o'clock last night because my vape died. So
really?
I've quit.
Got one in my bag.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So you can have my old one and I'll crack the fresh.
I was literally thinking, wow, I've quit vaping. It's just like,
I'm a new woman.
My vape died before I went to bed last night. I was like, well, the shop's shut. So.
Yeah.
So you didn't vape for a week?
So yeah, I did that. And then I did, I was in a writer's room for Apple for this crime thriller. And then I started filming for the Noel Fielding show, something Dick Turpin, Unreliable Tales of Dick Turpin, something.
Okay.
Dick Turpin in the title. So I'm playing a pirate in that. And I've just been pitching some other shows. And,
okay.
Do you know what I mean? Gigging again.
What did it feel like, the TV show coming out? Like, how did you feel?
How did I feel? You know what? There's so many different layers to writing and then acting, and then if you're
editing, like being
and then
in the
for
edit.
me, I was an exec producer on it, so you're there for all the different sort of layers. So like you get out of post, and then you got to start a PR run. And you're just like,
it's just all on you as well.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah.
But happily though, because you want to promote the show.
Totally,
you know
and
what I
also
mean?
you're the best person to promote the show because you wrote it, you're in it, and it's like heavily based on your life.
Not heavily,
but like the idea, the log line of like model moves back from New York.
Yeah,
that's that part. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I stopped modeling like 10 years ago, and I'd been doing stand-up since I was 30. So in terms of like this model who finishes her career and doesn't know what she's going to do next, no, because
were you modeling while you were doing stand-up?
Yeah, when I first started, which is probably why I didn't take it
That's such
seriously.
A crazy like intersection.
Yeah.
Like modeling and stand-up.
Yeah.
Because there's such different industries.
They are, but like not really.
Do you think there's something just so unchic about comedy?
Yeah, I mean, also there's something unchic about, promoting chicness.
Yeah, it's so true.
You're looking behind the curtains of it all. It's the same with like comedy. You're on stage, you want to make people laugh, but there's a certain amount of stress in that. You're not, after a time, you are having a good time, and it's like such a privilege to be able to make people laugh. But the mechanics behind it is not like, you're working.
Yeah.
You wanna do a good job, and you've got to put some focus into that. I think in terms of like people being thrown together that you wouldn't normally come across, those are where like the similarities are. So
because obviously this is a podcast that's loosely about parties, but I can't really stick to a topic for that long. But so you got scouted when you were how old? Like 19?
Yeah, I got scouted a few times. I got scouted like when I was 17.
In London?
In London. And then modelled for about 6 months, but nothing came of it. So then I went back to bartending and then got scouted again at 19.
And then when did you go to New York?
When I was 20.
And what was the part? Were you partying loads then?
Mate. Yeah.
What was it?
For the first year I didn't party because I was like a big weed smoker, and that really didn't bode well with modelling. Do you know what I mean? Being a stoner and like not wanting people to look at you and constantly having the munchies. So I think like, and also I was really underwhelmed by being in New York.
Were you really?
Yeah, because everyone was like, oh my God, it's crazy. And I was like,
yeah, that's because you were so high. You were just like, underwhelmed. I'm just underwhelmed. And also, like, I'm just underwhelmed. I'm just gonna, where's the food? Like,
yeah. I was, and also I'd just come out of being a teenager. I still had that sort of like, what ifs?
Yeah,
it's boring.
So
Everything's boring. Like, where's the fun?
So you're 20 and you're living in New York with who? With other models?
Living with other models, and then I was living by myself.
Wow.
But mostly the first year I just smoked weeds and like watched dial-up porn in South Park. and then after that, then I started going out.
Okay, and what, like partying?
Yeah.
When was this? This is like
early 2000s. This is
wow,
like the
that's like an unreal era. Mate, in New York.
When I say
that's unreal,
it was fucking wild. And also because at that point I wasn't old enough to go to the clubs. You have to be 21. So you'd go like with these promoters that would be like, oh, come and have a free dinner. It's like, oh, that's not costing you much money, is it? To have a fucking dinner with a bunch of models. Like, all right. Yeah. Come and have a free dinner and then we'll get you into the club, and then you'll be in the VIP section with like, you know, all the bottle girls and the Wall Street guys on other tables and just a bunch of creepy old guys, and then us models drinking vodka and Red Bull and like taking Xanax and coked off our nuts. Good times.
Fun. That sounds really fun.
It's fun times.
Yeah. And are you still friends with like the other models from that time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because modelling was like, we should have been at school or something. So like modelling was like our university years, really. I'm still friends with like all my model friends.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so fun. There's something about New York is like everything here times 15. So like every drink is stronger. Every time I have a drink in New York, I'm like, this has been spiked. And it's like, it hasn't. I've just had a full drink.
Because
like,
it's free pour out there. So many British people don't realise when they come to New York. I've had so many friends come and visit me and they're like, I only had free vodka and Cokes. And I'm like, yeah, it's free pour. It's not like 35 millilitres. They're just like, hey man, how's your day going? Oh, good. What? Coke, you said. Ch-ch. That's it, done.
No, I know. The amount of times I've really been like, I have been spiked. Someone needs to take me home. Then I'll be like, no, there's no one here that could have spiked me.
And then someone's like, have you tried this really good cocaine? And
yeah,
you're like,
I'm
like, fine again.
Back.
Yeah, I'm back, baby.
So you're in your 20s living in New, and how long were you there for? Like 15? How many years?
2019.
Oh my God.
Back. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I came back here in 2010 for a couple of years and kind of got depressed really quickly. And I remember my mum going, you can go back, you know. And I was like, can I? Okay, bye. I went back.
Why didn't you like being here then?
Because I was still modelling. I was like kind of early in my stand-up career and I just weren't ready for the graft.
But you were doing stand-up there?
Yeah, I started stand-up in New York.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so I came here, but I'd only been doing stand-up for like a year and I was just like, yeah, I remember me, Tom Davis and Dan Schreiber went to like the Leicester Comedy Festival and they'd like checked us all into the Holiday Inn and Dan and Tom were like, yeah. And I was like, no. I was like, nah. Why is there a microwave in the room? I was like, what is, I'm not.
No,
I'm
it's
not
like those tiny little TVs.
I was like, I'm not ready. Why is the shower, what is this, a pod? What are we doing? Like, I just couldn't get my head around. I was spoiled.
So you went back to New York?
I went back to New York.
And then why did you come back here fully?
Because I'd got married and then and then like my, you know, relationship had gone to absolute fucking shit. I'd like moved to LA and I was waiting on a green card and then Trump got in and I was in a really stressful situation and I kind of had to admit defeat. So much like the show in terms of that. And but I didn't want to come back because I just didn't want to admit to myself that I'd been gone for nearly 20 years and came back with nothing to show for my time away. And then eventually I was like, well, just come back to England.
But it's so interesting, isn't it, that because this is what always happens, like people don't like validate themselves in the way that, because I would have looked at like your career and the things you've done there and been like, you're coming back with like so much achievement and then like a prosperous stand-up career, but in your head you were like,
no,
just
but my
going
confidence,
back.
yeah, my confidence was really low at the time. I'd really come out of like just a stressful
relationship
situation. Yeah, so my confidence was really low. I felt like I had to have, like, life experience is good when you can put it into practice, but when your confidence is low, I just felt like I haven't actually got anything. I need to have something to show for it. Like, what have I got to show for it? You know what I mean?
I totally get that. And it's that thing of like, I've been feeling this so much this year because I used to be so driven by revenge. Like,
oh, mate, nothing.
I'm so petty.
Nothing motivates me more than being wronged by a man.
Same.
I am firing on all fucking cylinders. I'm like, you wait.
But
like 50 Cent style video, just like doing pull-ups. I'm like, I fucking hate you. And it's so weird, right? Because people talk about, I think like everything has to come from feeling really good about yourself. And yeah, that is good. But also you need certain pillars of like self-respect to be able to think like that. And a really nice jumping board is revenge.
Oh, it's revenge. And it's also, I want to prove that like, I am not the person that you like tried to make me feel that I am.
What do you reckon that's about? Because it's like someone's doubting you, but like you doubt yourself, but someone else doubting you is something to push against,
but
isn't
it's
it?
weird because it doesn't have the same effect on me when it's a woman. When a man that I've been like with makes me feel insecure about like who I am, it truly makes me like doubt my entire existence and personality. And then I go through a period when I break up with someone where I'll think like, oh my God, like all I need to do is figure out a way to get this person to like want to be with me again, like whatever. And then I come out the other side and I'm like, okay, now I need to be so amazing and like for them to just know that I'm just being so amazing and I'm better than them.
Yeah.
But that's what drives me.
It's like the stages of, it's like, you know, they say the stages of grief, but I think like the stages of breakup is like fuck your hair up, go on like a month's worth bender with your random mates until you start seeing that you're boring the shit out of them with the same story.
Yeah, that's so
I'm
true.
a worthless piece of shit. Fuck that, I'm going to the gym. I'll show you spring is around the corner.
Yeah.
And then by the time that you've got your shit together,
you don't care.
You don't care.
That's exactly what happens.
You don't care anymore.
Because it's like what you're driven by this thing that is like, I need to show them. And then by the time the actual thing happens,
it works.
You don't even think about them.
It works so well. You're feeling so good that you're like, oh yeah, what was it again?
Exactly.
Do you know
you
what I mean?
don't think about them. But I wonder if that's like, I don't know. I think in a way, I think it's a good thing. And I've had that. The reason I started doing stand-up was to spite someone who had rejected me. Because I was like, I'm gonna become really successful. I didn't know in what, and I was like, oh, I'll give stand-up a go.
Do you know what, right? When I first, because this is my first time meeting you, right? And when I first heard like a word on the scene that you were doing stand-up, I was like, fuck off. I thought, really? Oh, you're gonna try your hand at stand-up? I knew nothing about you. Do you know what I mean? But I was just like, yeah, what else? And then what I loved is then I'll start seeing clips of you and I thought it was so amazing that you were just so authentically yourself. And you just were like, yeah, no, this is, I'm all of these things. Yeah, I'm a politician's daughter. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not. And I just loved the whole like bratty behaviour. And then I loved you from afar.
Oh, that's really nice. Do you know what? I think like, because before I started doing stand-up, I'd already gotten so much shit for who I was. That then I was like, I need to just like be like, everything you think about me, I'm going to say it before you even have the time to say it.
Yeah.
And it's meant that, I mean, loads of people do hate me. I feel like I am quite Marmite. Especially because I am a brat. I'm a brat. Like my on-stage persona is very bratish. I'm like this poor little rich girl.
Yeah, but you're not trying to be anything different.
Totally.
It's like, but I came from being a model, right?
Yeah,
and it's there was a point where I was just like, I'm just gonna like, I don't chat about it excessively, but I am like, this is, you know, I started making fun of that and like, yeah, what it was to be like in a really privileged situation in terms of like beauty and how you navigate that and on all of the things that come with it, you know, like talking about drug use and drinking and partying and what happens when, you know, your beauty starts to fade and this, that, and like, oh, poor me. Do you know what I mean? And making fun of yourself.
But also I really do think, and this is what, I mean, when I started watching your stand-up mainly online, is I love it when people just do talk about taking drugs because everyone does it at some point in their lives. But
well,
still,
the thing is, you know what's mad? Not everyone.
Okay, well...
you know, sometimes you're in a situation and you're like, everyone. And it's like, no, your mates.
Yeah.
Your mates.
Emily's like one of my oldest childhood friends and she's never drunk or taken drugs since we were teenagers, but she's had to grow up around, like we grew up around here and we all were taking like MCAT, like 14 years old. Like we were like, Skins was on TV. We were like fucking cretins. And then I remember I made friends with like new people and I'd be like, yeah, you know, because like all my friends just like take packet every night of the weekend and they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
But I thought that was just normal. I thought that was just everybody.
Yeah.
What's your like social life like now? Do you like going out a lot?
No. I partied my ass off. I'm just kind of like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I like, the reality is I work out a lot. Like I go to Pilates for my mental health.
Do you go to Reformer?
Go to Reformer, baby.
God, I love Reformer.
Go to Reformer.
So
and
this episode is sponsored by Reformer Pilates.
Is it?
I wish. Oh. No, I wish. It's so fucking expensive.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's why I go, because I pay for a package classes. So I'm like,
that's what I
weirdly,
do.
I go to a place called Encore in Clapham. And it used to be, it's in a place that used to be called the White House. And I used to go there and do drugs.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm in there on a reformer bed, just like I
circle.
used to do blow here.
Yeah,
and
I love
here
that.
I am. Still at
evolution.
8 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Makes sense. But no, man, I used to be a big weed smoker and like.
Do you not smoke weed anymore?
No, I mean, if my brother comes over, I'll have a puff with him, but I'm not like, he's always like, do you want me to leave you a spliff? I'm like, no, I've got to use my brain.
Yeah.
I've rasped every brain cell in my head and a couple marbles I got left, I do have to cling on to. Now, that doesn't mean that like, I don't go out and, you know what I mean, still have a little party here and there, but generally, no.
You can't. Well, it feels like you're still holding on to your marbles.
Yeah,
I feel like you're still you're sane.
But also, how old are you?
30.
Yeah, 30, as you were. Continue doing what you're doing.
I'm getting to a point where I'm like, no, I need to rein it in.
Yeah,
no, actually, I have reined it in, to be honest, this year. Because I don't have the energy.
And also, the fallout's too much. It's like, you got a tour to do. You got work to turn up to. You got shit to, do you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I think because when I turned 30, I was like, okay, I do need to grow up a bit and I need to like say I have responsibilities and I should take them seriously. Like to be really hungover at something, it's not that professional, I guess.
Yeah.
So I've sort of
and
tried
also you
to
just
rein
be
that
disappointed in yourself.
Totally, and I don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
If I'm hungover.
Even when I was modelling, I never didn't turn up to a job. I never missed a job. I never got fucked up the night before work ever. I've always been quite good with stuff like that. But
that's good. That's really good. And you were really young as well.
Yeah. And I was just like, there's no way. Because, you know, you sort of, it just would seem disrespectful. But I've definitely been in situations where I've like turned up to gigs hungover and it doesn't feel good. Like it's not worth how shit you feel about yourself. Like you're just disappointed in yourself.
The experience.
Yeah.
Have you ever performed drunk or high?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've never performed high, but you know what? I did once actually. That is a lie that just came out of my mouth. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Because that's my biggest fear.
I once did a gig.
Is like accidentally getting high and then having to
years ago, right? I did a gig. I don't think this comic would mind that I mention her name, but I won't. I did a gig with this comic. I weren't planning on doing a gig. She was doing a gig. I just took a bunch of MDMA. Then someone dropped out of the gig. And this is early on in my career. And she was like, Michelle, please, will you fill in? And I was like, if I come, I've got to go on stage right away because I've got about 20 minutes before this shit kicks in. And as I was on stage, I was like,
it's happening.
I'm fucking mangled. Like MDMA mangled. And so then I told the audience and then I was just like, I just really need a hug. And I was like, can I just lie on the front row across you lot's laps and then you lot hug me, mate. Never again.
Did they? Surely they loved it though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, I wouldn't have been able to tell.
They probably thought it was an act, to be honest. They probably thought it was part of your act.
Yeah, I think they thought it was my shtick.
Yeah, I'm fine, I'm Jake, and everybody hug me.
But I was actually rasped on MDMA.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that is mad. Yeah. Because also I think once that happens, I remember one of my first gigs, because I did like one gig and was like, I'm the best comedian that's ever existed. So I thought I'll have a few glasses of wine before this show. And like,
just to loosen me up.
Yeah, like whatever. So I had 3 large glasses of rosé.
And a bottle.
Yeah, no, it was. That is a bottle of rosé.
I love as well that we think 3 large glasses isn't a fucking bottle.
It's a bottle. That is it's a large glass of rosé, and it was at the Paradise in Kensal Rise. And basically,
smash it.
There were 3 guys.
Kill it.
No, there were 3 guys on the front row, and they just like they just didn't like me. So I started arguing with them, and then I poured a glass of wine on one of their faces. And it was a competition. That night was a competition. It was like I'd, from my first ever gig, gotten through to like the next round of this like competition, and that was the final of this competition.
I kind of love that, because you know what that is, but like through the eyes of Grace Campbell, that is a kind of Larry David style meltdown on stage.
Totally.
Like fuck you guys, but like through the optics of brat behaviour, just like, I'm out of here.
I just think I hadn't earned that. Do you know what I mean? Like now, sure, people will be like, yes, Grace Campbell just poured a glass of rosé.
You think you hadn't earned that?
No,
you hadn't.
I hadn't. It was my 3rd gig. It was my 3rd gig. I threw wine on a man. He like worked in the city. He had like a really nice white shirt on that he'd obviously like come from work in the city. And you know the kind of guy, like he had like a really straight hairline. And I just, I wonder if he knows that I'm doing really well now.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
He's one of my revenge.
That's fucking amazing.
But so since then I've been really I will just,
Have you ever told the same joke twice in the same set?
No, that's awful. I probably maybe have.
I have. Only once, but it's
did
that
they
thing.
Tell you?
Well, yeah, because I said I did Top Secret, so I did.
Did you go? Have I?
I did it downstairs, and then because you know Top Secret, sometimes you do 3 gigs back to back, and you're just like discombobulated.
But when I do Top Secret, like those nights, I do have to stop and be like, have I already done this?
Yes.
Bit? Like it's
so
really
that's
confusing.
what happened, because I always used to think it, and I think most comics worry about that happening. And so I'm upstairs and I'm chatting, and it just got really flat, and I was like, have I already said that? And everyone went, yeah. And I was like, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Basically at Top Secret there are like 2 rooms, and you go, it's really fast. You come off stage and then they go, okay, right into the other room now. And then it really does bug me out, because I'm like, I feel like I'm doing exactly the same bit again. And I think I've already done this.
Yeah.
But I always say that stand-up is basically like being in a smoking area at a club, and you're talking to someone, and then you're constantly going, wait, have I already told you this part of the story? Like that's what I feel like stand-up is, because even when I'm doing like a tour or Edinburgh, I'm doing the same show every day. I'm thinking, you've already heard this because I did it yesterday. And it's like, obviously you didn't hear it because you weren't here yesterday.
What? I was chatting to Amy. Is it Amy Gladhill? I'm always so bad names. I absolutely love her.
She's amazing.
And we were doing Hackney Empire like last month, and I was like, oh man, I'm just feeling a little like inauthentic with my set, because obviously I wrote a TV show, so I haven't been writing a lot of stand-up, and I'm sort of now coming back into stand-up and using old jokes from a year ago, blah, blah, blah. And I said, but you know what's weird, Amy? I said, I'm acting like I've got some really dedicated fan base that follow me from gig to gig. Like,
that's what it's like.
Does anyone give a fuck? That you, you said it last night. Would you think the same people are like, I can't get enough of you. I'll be here tomorrow night too. It's like, no, they won't.
It's even like when I'll do like a bit from my last show sometimes, and I'll be like, well, they've already heard of this, heard this part. My friend will be like, well, probably none of them were at your last tour.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, get your own biographer at your own fanny. Yeah. You're all right, mate.
I know. Yeah. And also the thing is, like, I don't remember something, like if I've watched someone do stand-up 2 years ago, I'm not going to remember their set. Like I'm not watching it. I'm probably drunk when I'm watching it, as are like all of these people.
Yeah.
What I'd have predicted you'd have said is that you still smoke a bit of weed, but you don't go out as much, was what I'd have thought maybe you were going to say. But you've just kind of calm down and just do Pilates?
Well, no, I'm not like I do smoke a bit of weed
Do you?
now and again, but only if my brother comes over. Like I wouldn't go and be like, I need to get weed. Do you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna have a little spliff.
Same. I mean, I used to smoke so much weed,
But no, under no circumstance am I like, I just go to Pilates and drink green tea. No.
just have to clear that up in case we see Michelle.
Yeah. With one shoe on
she's
on
a
Clapham
liar.
Common holding a fucking bottle of rosé with a spliff in my mouth. No, I did. But probably just not to the extent.
Yeah.
You know what it is, right? Is that I don't have, because I've had so much therapy as well over the years. I was in therapy for like 8 years.
Wow.
So
Was that after you came back to London?
No, this is like,
when
well,
you
I've
were
only
in
been back.
America.
I've been back 5 years now. So,
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
But no, just probably from like 2016 onwards, I was in therapy every week, sometimes twice a week.
Wow.
So just that thing that I used to have in me, like where my nervous system, anytime I had some sort of time on my own and my own thoughts, I'd be like, do you want to go out for a drink?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I still like to drink. That's
Do you know what it's because that's why everybody should do therapy, because that's why people develop like unhealthy relationships with going out and drinking. And it's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast, because I used to have such an unhealthy relationship with alcohol and drugs and like going out, and I was the same as that, where I felt like so uncomfortable with myself that I'd have to get really fucked.
I just wanted to be, I was so bored of my own inner monologue, and I was so bored of myself, but like didn't take myself seriously enough to want to address the issues and the problems. So I would just like, I'd finish whatever I was doing, and I would just start to have this white noise of anxiety inside of me. And like the best way I could quieten it was just to like pour wine on top of it like it was gravy. And then once I had 3 glasses of wine, my finger would be like, on the phone. I'd be like, how long are you going to be? 20? Well, I'll get one. I may as well get 2. All right, then bye. You know, and I just did that a lot. But because I've got ADHD, it never did, like I'd always get quite tired on coke. I'm someone who I could never stay up all night. I'd always get to a point and I'm like, I'm fucking going to go sleep. So just, I think that side of things stopped in me, like the visceral need to shut my own inner voice up. That being said, I still have a drink.
Because it's still fun.
Yeah, exactly. And
but maybe you just enjoy it now in a different way.
Well, there's still some socialness about it. Do you know what I mean? But
Totally.
it's just that kind of like the panic of like, holy fucking shit, it's just me with my own thoughts. Let me shut it up. That has stopped or quietened down a bit.
That's great.
Yeah, but I'm but by no means, please do not mistake what I'm saying.
Have to set the record straight.
I mean, if I'm honest, man, I still think life would probably be better for me all round if I didn't drink at all, if I was completely like abstained from doing everything. Do you know what I mean? But I think there's a certain amount of like muscle memory and all of that as well. Like when you spend your youth getting fucking on it, it's hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
Like I remember having to feel like, I remember feeling like I was training myself to be able to drink 3 glasses of wine and not call it in. Like a fucking athlete. That's how I felt. I was like limbering up like.
But you know, it kind of is that.
And then,
it's
you know what I did?
retraining your
I was
muscle
like,
memory.
And then do you know what I did? I just had a kebab. Like a fucking normal, and thinking that was like, look how healthy I am. I drank a bottle of wine, ate food, and then passed out on a packet of knickknacks like a normal person. Like that's still not fucking normal. Do you know what I mean? But I remember being really like, how have I got myself over that hurdle of drinking wine? Because sometimes, like, listen, like me in my late 20s, if wine touched my lip, I'd be like, hello? Where are you? Come now. You know what I mean?
Totally. But I do think that that's like, this is what I've been doing. So I used to have this really bad thing where I would have a good show and then I would have to get fucked afterwards. Like there was no way that I'd be able to have a really good show and be on like such an adrenaline high and then not go out till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
But this year I was like, I can't sustain that on this like 2-month-long tour.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing of like, I would treat myself to 1 glass of wine after a show. And then I'd be like, and now you're going to get into bed and watch Modern Family. And then by the end of the tour, I didn't even want a glass of wine after the show because I had reprogrammed my brain. So it does work. Like that does work.
Nothing has made us sound like official alcoholics more than this conversation, to be honest. Do you know what I mean?
You
You're
what
like,
we are?
because then, like, you know what? Like, I've basically, it's all sorted. Like, looking at your drinks tray, like, no, because I'm fine now. I'm fixed. I think I'm fixed.
Do you know what we are? It's like, I remember...
Delusional, Grace,
but also, do you know those
delusional.
people who are like, no, I don't have a problem, because actually, like, my friend, she drinks like 8 bottles of wine a week, so I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
That's kind of what...
Oh, yeah, that's your classic, innit? Where you're like, wait, what?
No, but actually, all my friends pick up the bag like 4 nights a week. I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're really terrible. They kind of really need to sort their shit out. And then you hang out with someone normal. Like,
I know.
You know, you go for like a dinner party at your friend's house and they've been drinking the same glass of wine for like 40 minutes and you're like, I better slow down.
I know. Well, maybe they just had like really bog standard childhoods and teenage lives, and they don't have the same inner monologue that they're dealing with. They're boring. Yeah, they're boring. They've not experienced anything. I'd rather like sit next to someone else, like someone who's, you know, got issues at a dinner party.
Yeah.
Do you like hosting?
No.
Yeah. Would you ever host a dinner party? Big birthday?
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a big birthday party?
Yeah, I always have a big birthday party.
And what's been the vibe? And when was the last big birthday party?
My birthday was in October. I always do the same thing every year for my birthday. My cousin owns Stokey Karaoke.
Love.
Which is just the top of Stamford Hill. And my family have had that bar for like my whole life. And so normally I go there. We go to Yum Yums first and have Thai food. And then we go across the road to Stokey Karaoke and we all get absolutely lashed. And I've done the same thing every year for like the last 5 years.
What's your favourite karaoke song?
Probably like En Vogue. What's it gonna be? But I sing anything. I don't really care for karaoke that much. I just like.
Do you know what? I didn't, and then I did it in Liverpool, and I loved it so much.
Is it?
Yeah, because I was just in a bar with strangers, and I just did "You're So Vain" by Carly Simon. And I felt like I was at a concert.
Yeah,
like,
perfect.
I was like, wow, I can sing.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing of karaoke, isn't it? But I'm not even that so. I used to host parties in New York. We used to do some parties out there and stuff, and they always went really well. I don't mind having a dinner party. I just can't. I'm just not a good cook. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and there's a point where I want everyone to fuck off.
What I don't like is I want everyone to leave, but then I want them to help me clean up.
Oh, do you? I'm not fussed about that.
I make people clean with me before they go.
Really?
Don't know.
That sounds like a party I'm not coming over to.
And then I make them take the bins out as well. Like when they leave, I'm like, oh, could you just take the bins out on your way?
Yeah.
Because that's the part I don't like, is being alone and being like, oh, I've got to clean now.
Taking the bins out.
I don't like the bins, no, at all.
Cool.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's why I like hosting with takeaway. So it just comes in a pizza box, and then we just have to get rid of the pizza box.
You just like people coming to you.
Totally.
That's it, innit? You just don't want to leave your house.
I hate
you want
leaving my
everything
house.
to come to you, and then take the fucking delivery bag on your way out as well.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then I'm happy to clean up the glasses.
Yeah.
That's like my dream sort of
Also now I
hosting.
feel like my place is sort of like too small to have like a proper gathering.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I need something like bigger.
Yeah, because the dream is to one day have the house that people can come and like have a party. That is the dream.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you? So if you had that, do you think you would like to like throw big parties?
Yeah, I mean, I like people coming over.
Yeah.
Like I'm into that. Like I like people coming over. I like my friends. Like, because at this point, I've had the same friends for so long that like, when I have a birthday, I rarely talk to anyone because everyone starts chatting to each other and they're getting on.
That's such a nice feeling.
Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? When you see your mates get on.
Liking each other.
Really what they're doing is getting together and slagging you off. Do you know what I mean?
Which is great.
Which you need the release.
It's healthy.
I'm not an easy person.
That's exactly how I feel. I like knowing that they can vent to each other.
This is your customer support.
Passing on the torch of saying, yeah, you go and
Isn't she
deal
a
with
fucking
her.
nightmare?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This episode of Late to the Party is sponsored by Next and Rockett St. George, who, if you've been listening to or watching the podcast, you'll know have completely revamped our set and my house for the Christmas period. To check out some of the gorgeous products that have blessed my space, go to the Late to the Party YouTube channel and watch my house tour at the start of our Christmas special with Joanne McNally. Their range is so fun. They have everything from leopard print sofas, bedding, pajamas, to amazing quality furniture, which in my case has helped me organise my whole life. They've also got an incredible range of gifts for Christmas presents, so for once in my life, I'm ahead of the game. So thanks again to Next and Rockett St George for our incredible glow up. And to shop the range, head to the link in my bio or go to next.co.uk and search Rockett St George. Enjoy this episode. Love you. So can we talk about when you met Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So it was during 9/11. The Twin Towers have just been like exploded, and you get a call saying there's a guy who's got a plane who can get you out of New York, but you have to go meet him.
Yeah.
And then you went to his house.
Yeah.
What was his house like?
Fucking, like, it was, I can't tell, you know, like how like Oprah talks about like trust your instincts. They'll tell you when something's not right. And there's like, you know, I'm sure like a lot of your viewers and listeners will know about that thing of being quite young and not trusting that instinct yet, because you're not sure and you don't want to cause a stir and this and that. But I remember going into that place and instantly being like, no. Like everything in my fucking body was like, get the fuck out of here. But we were...
And that was just a feeling.
I mean, it was also like massively to do with how the place looked. It was really dark. It was like a massive door opened by a butler. And then when we walked in, we were like, holy fucking shit, because it was the biggest apartment. Now I know that it is literally the biggest apartment in Manhattan.
Yeah.
But at the time I didn't know that. And I was quite fresh to New York, right? I'd only been there a few months. And then September the 11th happens. Like, so we walk into the apartment and it was just all dark, like just like really dark tones. And the artwork was like really fucking creepy. And then we go up the stairs and it just looked weird as well, because we were being, you know, like sort of ushered into like this front room that was like at the top of the house, or maybe like 2 floors up. And then he was just sat in the front room, like waiting. And I just remember being like, this is fucking odd. There was a lot of odd shit happening in modeling for me at that time, because I started relatively late and I would always see these things that I thought were really alarming, and everyone was like, it's just fashion.
And would you say like, when you were like jarred by something, would you be like, this is weird?
Yeah, I'd be like, this is off. Like, this is weird.
And people would just be like...
Yeah, I'd get sent home. I'd get told off. I'd get, you know, told to like shut my mouth, not to talk. Also, that was a time when, you know, there wasn't social media. You really were just meant to be a blank canvas. Yeah,
also there's not social media for you to like know that these people have reputations. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, there's no way of...
Well, you knew because you were watching it with your eyes.
I know, but then some people would just ignore it. You obviously like were really looking at it and had a good like sense of it.
Not even really looking. It was so blatantly obvious. Do you know what I mean? So
So sorry, then he's there, and then were you just like, no?
Well, no, it wasn't like that. There was
like, as in, I don't want to get on your plane.
There was a bunch of girls there, and he was, you know, I guess giving us the once over. He looked very excited when we turned up. It was like a Christmas package had been delivered, which it had been. And I just kind of like stood in the background. But as my, you know, you're quoting my Apollo set, he weren't really taking that much notice of me because I was one of the older girls in that group. And yeah, just when we left, we was there for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And when we left, I was just like, the guy who brought us, who was from my agency, he was like really pally with him and kissing his ass. And Jeffrey had like pulled this like younger girl onto his lap, and it was just really fucking awkward. And we were all like, this is weird. And then he was talking about the jet that he was going to put us on. And when we left, I turned around to my mate and I was like, I'm not going to you. And she was like, no fucking way, dude. We were like, okay, we're going to stay stranded in New York.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Did
like,
any of those girls go?
Yeah. But it was just like, I don't know, it was just a weird time. Like, I just saw so much like weird, creepy shit, and everyone was like, this is normal. And I was like, is it?
Yeah, but I think it's like impressive that for you to know at that age that it isn't normal when everybody else is saying it's normal. And
well, no, do you know what? It's sort of like you've got these young women and girls as commodities, and you're sort of used as, you know, you're kind of selling yourself to sell brands, but you're being told that you're lucky and it's a really privileged position to be in. And anytime you talk to anyone, and you can only really talk to other models, because when you chat to other people, they're like rolling their eyes like, yeah, sure, it's really hard for you. And you're like, it kind of is really fucking creepy.
Really dark
and we're
underworld.
all really, we're vulnerable, but you're getting paid a lot of money, but you're also getting scammed out of that money. And it's just it was just an odd time and like an odd experience. And I won't say like, probably because I was a bit older. Also, I'd, you know, grown up in South London. So I had like probably a bit more of, like I was used to asserting myself a lot more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Were there like men in the industry who would like you felt genuinely protected by?
No.
Really?
No. I mean, there was like a few agents that weren't creepy, because you had some like, you know, a lot of queer people in the industry. And I think a lot of guys kind of adoring you, but adoring you for your physicality, not because they wanted to protect you per se. So no, I didn't.
Not really protecting like, yeah.
No, yeah, like those same guys that might have protected you will also be like, you're fat. Sort it out.
Yeah.
You look really tired. You should go and get Botox. We've made you an appointment. Do you know what I mean? Or like, have you considered getting a boob job or lipo? We've got some great people that could do that for you. Like, so they weren't protecting you. And then also you're in an industry that really involves selling yourself. So, but you're just young, man. It's just like a real like, it's a bit of a cowboy land, because you're meant to be self-employed. You're an independent contractor, but you're also got these adults and you feel like a kid and they're telling you what to do, and you don't realize that you can say no. And if you do say no, everyone gets really pissed off.
How would you say it's made you like feel about how you look? Like, is it, you see, like if I was in a career where people were constantly, I think it would really send me quite west.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you are. But me personally, I've never been that bothered about my weight, but in terms of scrutinizing the way I look, definitely, facially, for sure. Because, and also I was just told at such a, like, I think when I was like 27, my agency like brought me in to have a meeting, and they were like, we've noticed that your smile lines are really starting to kick in, and we've made you an appointment with a dermatologist on Monday to go and...
You were 27?
Yeah. Like,
that's
what?
mad.
Yeah, so that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
Yeah, because then because it's like, that's the kind of thing that presumably you wouldn't have noticed yourself. And then other people are being like, this is what you need to do.
Yes.
It's like my worst nightmare. Because when I say I'm really insecure about this, my friends will be like, no. Like, it's not real. If I say like, oh, I feel like, I don't know, like I've got lines in my forehead, my friends will be like, no, you don't. Even like,
no. An agent would be like,
yeah.
Actually, yeah.
We're going to get you a taxi there now to go and rectify it.
Have you considered, like, your nose is a bit weird from one angle? Like, and even doing shoots and stuff, right? Like, you get told everything about yourself. Like, you'll go on one side to do a profile picture and they'll go, that's not your good side. This is your good side. And you're like, okay. And they're like, you know, like, do you know that one of your eyes is smaller than the other? Or can you, like, it's just wild, especially then. Like, you would sign up to an agency and they would rate all your features out of 10. So
in front of you?
They would have a board where it just said like eyes, nails, hands, feet, bum, boobs, nose. And then you would rate what you think is each of these features out of 10. The agent would rate all of these features out of 10. And then in the middle, they would kind of tally it up. And the same, like, you'd go to Milan, you'd get off a plane, they'd take you to like the basement of Why Not Agency, and they would get you into your underwear and weigh you and measure you. But you just got off a plane. Do you know what I mean?
Is it true that you called Terry Richardson a creep?
I called him a nonce.
A nonce to his face?
Yeah, got sent home.
On a shoot?
Yeah.
Well, you have a good nonce instinct, don't you?
I don't know if I have a good nonce instinct, or these people are just so blatantly nonces.
Noncing.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, it's like chicken and egg, but I'm gonna give you the power of you've got a good non-stinct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A non-stinct. Yeah.
Like, because it sounds like, because even when I watch videos of Terry Richardson, you can see he's a fucking creep. Like, it's so obvious in his behaviour.
We were doing a shoot for like Tommy Hilfiger jeans, and it was like the second time I'd done that campaign, but like this was like rock girl theme, and he had all these like young girls, literally they were like 14, 15, 16, and they were sort of trying to win his favor. And they just started to realize that the younger they acted, the more he was into it. That's no shade on them because they're children, right? And so they were sitting in a circle and they were playing pat a cake. And I was like sitting on the sofa judging.
They were playing pat a cake with him?
With each other. They were just like, like being all cute, dressed in these like little rock outfits. And he walked past and he was like, oh my God, that's so hot right now. And I was like, you're a nonce. And then I got sent home. Yeah.
Shit.
I know, my agency were fuming. They were like, what did you just say? What happened? And I was like, I told them. And they were like, Michelle, that's unacceptable. And I was like, do I still get paid? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, whatever then. And they were like, but has he taken any pictures of you? I was like, he took a few, but he just was not in, there was no love lost. Yeah.
Did you ever feel like then vindicated by all of these things? Were you like...
Yeah, definitely.
I got sent home from a job for calling you a nonce, and then like years later, everybody now knows you are a nonce. Did you feel...
Yeah, just the industry in general.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for sure, man. So many weird things happen and people just gaslight you because they're like, no, this is how the fashion industry is. And then, yeah, years later, you're like, I fucking knew it. Like with the Jeffrey, like with the Jeffrey thing, I was like, I fucking knew it. Like I've seen some weird shit in that industry, but because I didn't know who he was at the time, but that particular thing just always stayed out in my mind of like, what dark underworld are we fucking in? Like, what is going on? You know, and everyone was like, it's fashion, darling. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
And so when I hadn't seen him since that day. And when I saw a picture of him, I was like, oh my fucking God.
Was that when he got arrested?
Yeah. I was like, I knew it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. I was saying this to you before we started filming. I met Jimmy Savile when I was 9 years old. And I really vividly remember it because he tried to get a picture with me. And two of my like childhood friends were like really excited to get a picture with him, and I was like, I really don't want him to touch me. And in the picture, I'm like going like that and like looking at my dad, like, can you get him away from me? And then we were in Newcastle because my dad was running the Great North Run or something, and he was like hosting it. And then we bumped into him again in the hotel corridor, and I said to my dad, like, I really don't like that man. There's something really scary about him. And then I was obviously right, but it's like also, I feel like maybe at that age I could sense like the creepiness in his eyes. There was something in his eyes that was so scary.
You knew, like your body knew, innit?
But then I also think that's kind of what I'm trying to say is I feel like everybody probably knows, but maybe a lot of people aren't given like confidence to be like, I don't want to be near that person. And maybe they feel like they can't as well because they're like, I'm going to lose this job.
Yeah, there's
I'm going to risk my reputation.
Yeah,
I'm going to affect other people if I like call this out. So it is really hard.
Yeah, and also if you're not in a position of power,
totally,
you've probably got quite a lot to lose, or you're going to ruffle some feathers or whatever.
Yeah, well, you're going to make people uncomfortable, which like is a really scary concept.
This is, you know what, this is what's good about getting older, because you're just like, now I'm just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Any kind of weird behavior, I'm like, no. Like even the other day, I got out, I got on the tube. This guy was looking at me, and I was kind of like, whatever. And then I got off the tube, went into a shop, came out the shop, and he was waiting outside the shop. And he was like, oh, can I talk to you? And I was like, no. And he went, I just want to ask your name. I said, brother, no. And he was like, oh, you're a fucking lesbian, blah, 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 and started shouting at me down the road. But when I was younger, I might have been like, what? What's your name? I might have gone, Michelle, why? But now I'm just like, no, fuck off.
Yeah. Are you dating?
Not at the moment, no.
You single?
Yeah, I'm single. I kind of just got a bit knackered from it all. I was like, definitely, when I was in like post-production for the show, I was just banging a lot of people. Sleeping a lot of people. Sleeping a lot of people. Sleeping with a lot of people. And
that's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. But I was doing it as like a bit of escapism and as a distraction. And yeah, now I think I need to like let my pussy breathe.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah, just masturbate.
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying to Joanne, I've like bought a bunch of new vibrators, and I was like, spend money on your vibrators. I was like, these things sound like fucking fracking devices. I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, but also I've spend money and then you get ones that like don't make any sound, so you can use them anywhere.
Yeah, that's what. But I was like, well, I'm not spending £50 on a vibrator.
I know.
And then I fucking got one. It was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, earthquakes. Yeah. Okay, best party you've ever been to. Could you answer that? Is there one that comes to mind?
Nah, mate, not really, because I've just been to so many fucking parties. I'm trying to think like what is the best one. I had a good 10-year stretch of, I was in New York and I was a model.
One long party.
Yeah, I was in New York. I was a model. I had loads of money and I could drink for free and I had access to the best drugs.
Yeah, that's just
the end, mate.
A blur.
The fucking end. Like I've had so many.
In that time, where were like the best parties? Like what were the best clubs?
Back then, it was like the meatpacking district, and you would go to some dive bars in the Lower East Side. You could like lose yourself there. Then you would go to Beatrice Inn. Then after you might go to like Marquee or something, or you'd go to Hero. You just go to like, and before that there was like clubs called Splash and shit like that. But you just go to a lot of dive bars as well and just have a disgusting amount of fun. I remember one, like probably the most hungover I've ever been. I was going to Marquee to meet some friends of mine who didn't end up turning up, but I thought, fuck it, I'll stay anyway because I was off my fucking nut. And I saw some friends there, and I was standing with them. And because I was on my own and just really just treacherous behaviour, every time a girl would walk past, I'd slap her ass because I was hanging out with a bunch of guys. And I thought that was so funny. And so I was like, slap these girls' asses and then turn around and carry on chatting to my mates. And I thought I was hilarious. What a dickhead. Anyway, I slapped this girl's ass and this like pretty like heavy set Puerto Rican girl, I slapped her ass and she turned around so quickly, caught my hand and punched me in the face. And rather than leave, I just held a bag of ice to my face and stayed out.
Wow.
And woke up the next day with a serious black eye.
Oh,
and I just remember
my
it was
God.
the worst hangover I'd ever had because I'd done so much drugs. I drank so much like vodka, Red Bull and cranberry and shit. Like I woke up and I was like, ow, my flatmate saw me.
Concussion.
Yeah, probably. My flatmate saw me and was like, oh my God, like ran to the shop like it was a medical emergency to get me a bacon, egg and cheese and a bottle of water. I was just like, He was like, what happened? I was like, I got punched in the face. But I blatantly deserved it. When I did it, this guy who I was chatting with turned around and he was like, Michelle, you just got punched in the face. And I was like, yeah, nah, solid. I properly deserve that. Like,
I smacked her ass.
Too right. Like, yeah, fair.
Fucking hell. But you stayed in the same place as her. Did she try and fight you?
No, she punched me. You didn't even fight me. You can only fight if someone fights back. She decked me in the face.
And then you just sat there. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I just carried on chatting to whoever I was chatting to because I was so blasted on fucking coke.
Oh my God. That is mad.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Pretty fucking solid behaviour.
That's the best part you've ever been to then. It's like, Let's just answer that question. That was the best.
Getting punched in the face. But no, actually, like I've just been to so many fucking like parties, man. Like,
but also I think it's a really hard question to answer, like, because they all do blur into one unless something really significant happens. Like say like the party where you meet like someone who then becomes like, I don't know, the love of your life. Then I'd think that was the best part I've ever been to, but I don't have like the love of my life. So
like I don't know. I think, and also that's the problem with just having like way too much fucking fun. It's like, how do you come down from that? You expect everything to be
that
like,
good.
Yeah, but like because I was chatting to someone the other day, going like, we grew up. I was chatting to Cole Donnelly and I said, isn't it weird? Like we grew up in South London. We spent our teenage years in South London. I grew up in Brixton and I'd be like, I'm so fucking bored. Like there's nothing going on. My mum would be like, oh, go out. I was like, go to the West End. I'd just be like, boring. It's like, where's better than growing up in the middle of London as a teenager? And then at 20, I moved to New York. I was
boring.
Like, oh, this is fucking dry. I'm so bored of like going out to these massive parties and drinking for free. It's like, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Like, what more could we do here? Like, what more could we do? I'd like be out and like, fucking Amanda Lepore would be there, Boy George, and they'd be in their corner, and like, I don't know, Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton would be over there, and I'd be sat with my model mates in like in the middle table, just being like, oh. should we go? This is fucking
This is
dry.
so dead.
Yeah, this is so dry. Like, what should we do? Should we just go to a dive bar in the Lower East Side? Yeah, this place is shit.
That is such a huge problem. If I was at a fucking party with Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton, I would die.
But if you did it most nights of the week, you'd just be like, oh.
Yeah. That's why you can't think of the best party of your life, because when you were there, you were like, this is fucking
What's
shit.
mad, right, is that like I'll chat to my friends, like my British friends that had come over to visit me in New York, and they'll be like, do you fucking remember that night where like we went to this one party and then we went to another party and a mom was there and then we went to this other party and like fucking George Clooney was there, and then do you remember when we went to so-and-so's house? And I'm like, no, I don't. They were like, it was the best night of my life. I'm like, sure.
Wow.
The best night of your life. Normal Wednesday night for me, baby. Yeah.
Also, I reckon if you had social media then, you'd probably remember more of it, because you'd have maybe been,
we didn't have it then. Thank God.
Because you'd have been there like, guys, I'm just here. George Clooney's here.
Do you know what I mean? Like, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
I remember us like being out clubbing and seeing Big from Sex and the City and thinking that was really sad. We were just like, oh, we got to go. Big from Sex and the City. We must leave.
This is so sad. Big,
is so
the love
fucking-
interest in the show that's like this time.
Yeah, we're
That
just
is
like
so funny.
desperate. We got to leave here. It's fucking pathetic.
That is so funny.
Yeah, or going out and seeing like Leonardo DiCaprio and like all of his bros, and we're just like, okay, red flag, let's leave. Like, this party's officially dry.
Wow.
I know.
So you were like the coolest girl in New York.
No.
Too cool to be
Just
Leonardo
head jammed
DiCaprio.
up your ass, delusional.
Yeah.
Cocaine.
But
Like, that's what cocaine will do to you. Cocaine will have you at a fucking party wedged in between Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton and fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and just going, this party's shit. Everyone here is really fucking desperate and they're such losers. We gotta go. Hashtag cocaine.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going? Yeah, let's just all go back to my house.
Just go back to my house and stay up till 9 in the morning.
Yeah,
Right, bye,
talking
dude.
about how cool we are.
And how everyone else at that party was dead. Yeah.
Short
okay.
story by cocaine.
Yeah. If you have to leave a party, what would your excuse to be? If you're at a party that you're hating, what would be your line to leave
I'll just go.
without saying anything?
No, just say I'm going now. Thanks. It's been a real pleasure. I hope everyone has a lovely night.
I wish I was better at that.
Just go.
I know.
What do you mean? What's your...
I always come up with like a really like long story of why I have to leave.
No, I just say, do you know what I say when I want to leave a party? Bye. That's it. What do you mean? And come up with a like... You lot know your party's dry. I know your party's dry. We all fucking know your party's dry. And I'm not being a fucking little fucking cog in this bullshit to keep it moving.
The performer,
it's over.
the energy.
It's over. And you know what? I'm up. Bye. Enjoy yourselves.
And then you go outside and you just can't get an Uber for like half an hour. That's what I always do. I'm like, I'm going now.
A big
and then
goodbye.
like 15 other people leave me and I'm like, still waiting for my Uber.
Oh my God, mate. Do you
My
know,
Uber keeps
do you know
cancelling.
what? Do you know what happened to me the other day? I did the worst, like I haven't had a gig this bad for ages, right? But because it just wasn't made for comedy. And I did this, I was meant to do 15 minutes. I did 9 minutes, 45 seconds, right? And I just thought, fuck, I'm out.
It's not bad for a really bad gig.
I just said, I'm out. There's no way. But I did this big goodbye just to try and eat up time. I was like, everyone, listen, 2024's nearly over. Like I was some hip hop hype man. I was like, 2024's nearly over, but 2025 is around the corner. New beginnings. You guys have been amazing. That's it from me, Michelle De Swarte. And then I turned around. There was no one there to take my mic.
Oh my God.
And then I had to go back and be like, okay, so I'm just sort of, just kind of like talk my way.
Oh my God.
Until the DJ came. Yeah.
They were waiting for you to do 15 minutes.
Yeah, and he came back and he went,
so...
that's not your time. I said, here he is.
Yeah.
Coming back. And he went, but you're not ready. And I said, yes, give a round of applause to the DJ. That's how bad the gig was. It was awful. But it was like one of those ones like, I'm out, bye.
Goodbye.
And then, you're waiting in the cold
there.
thinking, do I go back inside and have a drink?
That's my biggest fear. What I do is I leave and then I go like really far around the corner to wait for an Uber because I'm like, I don't want to be like waiting outside having to say goodbye to people again.
Yeah, you want to walk with purpose.
I've already said goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, you don't want it to be awkward. Oh my God, can I quickly tell you this story though?
Yeah, go on.
So I was seeing this guy once, right, in New York, and he was like, I'm gonna come over to your house. I've just got to do something first. And he pocket dialed me as he was going into a brothel. And it was so fucking juicy because he'd left the longest message on my answering phone when I still used to listen to voicemails. And he'd gone into this brothel, picked a girl, got into some big thing.
Was he on his way to see you?
He was on, but he said, I've just got to do a stop off first. Then he leaves the longest voice message where he'd gone into a brothel, got really annoyed that the girl he normally wanted wasn't available, and then turned up at my house. And it was...
Had you listened to it by the time you arrived?
I listened to the whole thing. And me and my flatmate were dying. It was such delicious tea.
That's
I was like, I'm never going to say anything
unbelievable.
to him because it was just so good. I was like, I was so embarrassed for him.
Yeah.
Not because he was going to a brothel, whatever. But just the fact that...
No, it's just like, well, he's meant to be coming over to your house.
Yeah, and he just wanted to like clear the pipes first. It was...
God.
The voice...
Did you ever tell him?
No. It was too good.
I wouldn't be able to do that, I don't think.
No, it was too good. And it wasn't that serious.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I was just like, I was like this. You all right? How was your appointment? Was it good? Wow. Oh, I just let him tell me this whole story about,
my
then this
God.
happened and that happened and I had to get this and that.
That is unreal.
Dude, the voice note was so fucking good. Like, he was literally like, at first I was like, what the fuck is it? Oh, he's called me by accident. And it's kind of sounded like it was underwater because it was in his pocket. And then he's like, hey, yeah, can I get this girl? What do you mean this girl's...
Wow.
It was fucking juicy as hell.
That's
but that
amazing.
It was so satisfying.
That's amazing. I really want that to happen to me.
Wouldn't it?
Right. Thank you so much. You are amazing. I can't wait for me, you and Joanne to get fucked together. Three comedians who don't have an alcohol problem.
Yeah. Why we all go just like, have you noticed so and so they really drink too much?
That's the name of
really
the documentary that we made about us. 3 comedians.
Yeah,
Who don't have a drinking problem.
Great.
Who are doing
Thank
amazing
you.
right now and do not have a problem.
No voids. Life is full.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.